This is a continuation of my video The State of Demons, in which I will further be discussing the extinction of the demon race in Dark Souls 3 and its implications, but mainly regarding the armies that sought to bring an end to the beasts of chaos. If you want to be up to date with what I'll be talking about, I've provided a link to my other demon video in the description below. The demon ruins represent the last stand of this almost extinct race. As we explore the ruins, we can piece together a rough outline of what occurred and the forces that were instrumental in the ultimate defeat of the demons. While we do find Ghrus occupying the majority of the ruins, I do not believe that they defeated the demon horde single-handedly, but rather were one group among several that contributed to this genocide. The groups that were involved include, but are not necessarily limited to, the Ghrus, Carthus, the Black Knights of Gwyn, some enslaved giants, the pyromancers of the Great Swamp, Prince Lorien, the unknown Eastern warrior, and perhaps even some clerics. If this list surprises you, don't worry, I intend to prove these theories as best as I can with evidence found in the game. Firstly, however, let's look at how the demon culture has endured into Dark Souls 3. Demons can easily be dismissed as grotesque and mindless monsters who live only to be feared due to their nature and appearance, but I think this is an attitude that flies in the face of what we can observe in the game. Demons understand much more than we give them credit for. They have a society, a hierarchy that they live by, and have evolved further than to simply be guards. They are sentient beings that are aware of their dwindling numbers and have made an effort to make sure that they will not be forgotten. When the demons were driven from Izalith and trapped within the ruins, they were desperate to preserve their culture. We can observe this concept of the demons wishing to remain in some way after they have perished in the docile statues of Taurus and stray demons in the ruins. In all established cultures in Dark Souls 3, we see the practice of statue building used as a method of remembrance. In Lothric we see statues, in Irithyll we see statues, in Anor Londo we see statues. Why are they there? So the influential members of these societies are not lost. The reason why statues of the first son of Gwyn were destroyed is because the royal family wanted to strip his name from their history, and removing visual representations of such a figure aids that process immeasurably. The demons understood this, and while they cannot sculpt or chisel marble to replicate their features, they could use their own bodies to give an accurate representation of their size and power. In saying this, however, the demon race are by no means as developed as the other kingdoms I have mentioned, but the fact that they show awareness and employ these techniques open our eyes to the capabilities as a species. As seen in Dark Souls 1, lesser and greater versions of demons exist, which may suggest that they separated each other by size and prowess in battle, and it seems that the lesser demons were felled first, and only larger, more powerful demons lasted until the very end. As seen on Demon Titanite in Dark Souls 1, we can make out what Hawkshaw has proposed to be as a demon alphabet or method of writing. He has a brilliant video on demon culture as a whole on his channel, which I will link in the description. However, the goal of this video is not to examine demon culture, but simply provide an understanding of how it manifests in Dark Souls 3. With this in mind, let's move on to talking about the groups that decided to vanquish the demon race once and for all. Regardless of whether Wolnir assembled what could be called the Avengers Demon Killers Edition or not, they seem to have a combined objective of destroying all remaining demons that were located within Smouldering Lake and the demon ruins. Some of these groups succeeded in this goal better than others. As I stated before, I don't think that the Ghrus were responsible for taking over the demon ruins by themselves. In fact, I think it is possible that the Ghrus may have established some kind of camaraderie with the demons, seeing as the Ghrus did not attack the demon statues that spit fire. Could this bond between Ghrus and demon have grown from their knowledge that they were both just accessories to a larger force, with the Ghrus being subservient to the Abyss Watchers and the demons to Izalith? It's hard to say. The Ghrus we find in the demon ruins are embered, like the crabs in Smouldering Lake. This shows us that the ability of being embered is not limited to Ashen Ones or Champions, but really anyone that gets their hand on an ember. However, the whole deal with humanity and effigies and embers is enough for an entire video, so we won't get into that. The Ghrus don't only seem to be patrolling, but also resting, like this is their home now, sitting around and not anticipating conflict. This makes me think that they feel quite well defended and undisturbed, not worrying too much. The smouldering Ghrus shamans are quite interesting, as they differ in anatomy and are able to cast fire pyromancies, while normal Ghrus shamans can only cast great swamp pyromancies, like Ingi's poison mist. Additionally, they sometimes drop chaos gems, which are normally only found inside demons. I don't think this is proof for them to be demons, however, as they may just have killed them and plundered the gems. In regard to fire pyromancies, I believe that when the Ghrus entered the ruins, they found the Izalith pyromancy tome and learned from it. The description of the tome reads, "A pyromancy tome from Izalith containing pyromancies of the witches. Give to the old master pyromancer to learn chaos pyromancies of Izalith. Chaos pyromancies manipulate lava, and birthed all later forms of pyromancy." The tome itself is found in front of what appears to be a statue of a smouldering Ghrus shaman. This gives us a few questions to consider. Firstly, did the discovery of pyromancy contribute to the Ghrus growing more appendages? Even the elder Ghrus who wander the swamp above only have 2 arms, despite being massively tall. Secondly, who taught them this pyromancy? Pyromancy tomes are not like a magazine you can flick open and have a read of. They require a skilled master of the craft to pull apart and glean techniques from. We'll talk about this possible teacher of the Ghrus later on. We then have the Clerics. The Cleric, which is available as a starting class in Dark Souls 3, is somewhat of a warrior monk. We know that Clerics did venture quite deep into the catacombs, as Walnir was able to pillage their bracelets from them in order to keep them from falling into the abyss. This begs the question as to why they were there in the first place, however. The Cleric set in Dark Souls 3 may begin to unravel this mystery. The item description of the Cleric blue robe reads, "It is said that the blue-robed travellers were entrusted with a duty. They bore large covers on their backs to ensure that they would not become seedbeds for the spreading darkness." Firstly, it mentions a duty. I believe that this duty is actually to kill the remaining demons. The first cleric we meet in Dark Souls 1 is Petrus, who aligns with the Way of White. The Way of White follows the teachings of the great Lord Gwyn, and upholds the power of the gods. Since Gwyn was once at war with the demons, it would make sense that the clerics, similarly, would be ideologically against the spawn of chaos. Interestingly, the large covers on their backs seem to be there specifically to prevent infection from vile maggots that took over the bodies of who had descended into Quelaag's lair in Dark Souls 1. They are both aware and fearing of the capabilities that demon parasites can have on them, and how they can make them forget the Way of White and become servants of chaos. This is what makes me think that at some point clerics of an unknown number descended into the catacombs, attempting to find the last of the demons but were vanquished by Walnir. There is also another group that may hold disdain towards the demons of Izalith. That group is the remaining Black Knights of Gwyn, who were among the first to take the fight to the demons in their home, and their armour was scorched black by their encounters with the fiery beasts. I imagine, with the collapse of the Society of Anor Londo, no knights of this kind have been trained in a very long time, making the remaining Black Knights extremely old. All the weapons used by the Black Knights link them to demon slaying. The Black Knight Greatsword item description reads, "Ultra Greatsword wielded by the Black Knights who wander the lands, designed to face chaos demons. The Black Knights constantly faced foes larger than themselves, and this sword's unique attack greatly reduces enemy poise." The Black Knights are ghosts of a bygone era. The royal family they once protected are all dead, and the only unfinished goal that they have is the destruction of the demons, which is why they are found in the demon ruins. They are finishing off a foe while they are at their weakest. The description of the Black Knight armor in Dark Souls 1 reads, "Armor of the Black Knights who haunt Lordran." The knights followed Lord Gwyn when he departed to link the flame, but they were burned to ashes in a newly kindled fire, wandering the world as disembodied spirits ever after. Wandering the worlds as disembodied spirits, as the Black Knights are, is an interesting description. Ghosts in Western fantasy literature often exist in the world for a specific purpose. Could these spirits be attempting to fulfill one last mandate before disappearing from the world? Let me know what you think in the comments. I will also talk about Night Slayer Tsorig here as well briefly. I will be careful as he is a rabbit hole of lore that is easy to fall into, and could be an entire video on his own. I believe Tsorig is a bit of a soldier of fortune, and it is not necessarily in the ruins to kill demons, but rather to kill Black Knights. I base this on two pieces of evidence. Firstly, he is a Knight Slayer. Of course, he probably acquired this name from killing the Fume Knight. He has his sword, and the Knights of Ilium Lois. However, Black Knights aren't the best of friends with him either, and Tsorig will attack and kill the Black Knights on the platform above him. He is also summonable for the fight against the Demon King. Also, I do not think that Tsorig and Tarkus are the same person. The faces of Tsorig and Tarkus are different, while other characters like Sigmar and Sigvard and Patches have consistent faces across the games. Take all of this with a grain of salt. I have already talked extensively on giants in my last video, but I would like to point out something about Smoldering Lake. Brian Lung, a commenter, pointed out that only the giants would have been capable of getting the huge baluster that overlooks the lake onto the precipice. Also, they may have been the only ones capable of stacking the corpses around the catacombs and lake. Yor may have been involved as well, but that will require some additional investigation. The main point is that these giants, like those in Anor Londo and the Cathedral, were enslaved to become beasts of burden for Karthus, and then were exterminated when their use was at an end. Check my video that is dedicated for giants for more information, and thank you Brian for pointing that stuff out for me. The design of both Izalith and the Demon Ruins are strikingly similar to that of the ruins of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, with intricate stonework and vines overtaking the structures. I think it's possible that the vines that we see sprawled throughout the Demon Ruins may be part of the Bed of Chaos. Even with the fire destroyed, it's possible that the strong vines may have remained ensnared throughout Izalith. I cannot answer for why the vines are cindering, indefinitely perhaps. The Chaos fire is not truly dead. If the demon's survival is directly linked to the Chaos Flame, this may explain their longevity. On a side note, inside the ruins themselves, there is a bonfire called the Old King's Antechamber. This could mean that the Old Demon King may have once lived inside the ruins itself, but has since become split from the rest of the population, which have died due to a multi-front assault. The final war of the demons ended in the stalemate. Wolnir was trapped in the abyss. The old Demon King was weak and surrounded by his dead comrades. Both rulers had failed their people, and both empires had fallen. Only a traveller, a champion of Ash, was able to bring the conflict to one final close. Well, that's it. Another video down. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, again, I wasn't really able to fit in everything I wanted to talk about because I still wanted to talk about Cornyx and some other elements of pyromancy that definitely affected the downfall of the demons. I've still got to talk about Quaylana and the big spider thing that's in the demon ruins, so that will be coming up as well. I have a lot that I can still talk about, and I will talk about when time permits. But thank you again as always for watching, and if you enjoyed, please subscribe so you'll be able to see all the great stuff we've got coming up in the future. Have a good one. Bye.